So we're going to talk to Mike Lawrence, who is a health and wellbeing consultant, and he's going to talk to us about looking after your mental health and wellbeing during this COVID-19 outbreak. So Mike, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Hello. Welcome.
Before I start, I just want to thank all the speakers so far. Everyone listening, it's been absolutely brilliant and everything. So I just want you to raise the glasses to everybody so far. I think it's been really good.
Cheers, everyone.
Also, I'm just going to go off script slightly. I just want everyone just to stand up. Actually, just to stand up. Just stand up.
It's lucky we put a bottom half on.
Are we standing up, are we? Are we all doing it? Okay.
Everyone just stand up. Rotate your shoulders, wiggle your hands, wiggle your arms, your shoulders, wiggle your body, your waist and everything, and then your knees, and then shake hand and just sit down again and just sit down and just relax.
Thanks for that, Mike. Needed that.
just to get the energy flowing, because probably like with all of you as well, we're all working from home. And in a sense, we've been sat at, normally we sat at our desk, we sat at work. A lot of people are sat at home a lot of times, and now they're sat in front of the computer, sat in front of a laptop. So one of the key things, one important things, is to get up and move, and to get up and move and walk around throughout the day whilst we're actually working, so that we can get the energies to flow through our bodies. And we've talked a lot about adaptation, a lot with the things that we've been talking about, and myself as well, in terms of the health and well-being. I have a clinic in Sheffield. I see a lot of data. I see a lot of clients face to face. I do see clients through video conferencing. I've been using Zoom, Skype, and various other platforms for a number of years to work with certain clients. But as some of them already mentioned as well, that even in my industry, or some people, when it comes to well-being and coaching, most people want to see you face to face. And you always try to tell people or discuss with people that now we can do things remotely as well, just as effective. And so what I've been doing with some people is just trialing it, even with treatments, because sometimes we've got chiropractors, osteopaths and physios who work hands-on. And what I'm able to do with certain clients is work through hypnotherapy, hands-on, using Reiki, and do this over the phone, and also do this through Zoom as well. And it can be equally as powerful, because it's the words that we use. And if we use words in specific ways, because in terms of communication, we're either visual, we see things and we react and respond visually. We're either kinesthetic, we want hands-on, or some people, like to hear things. But when you combine it together, especially when you're working holistically in terms of well-being, it can be extremely powerful. I just want to just share with you some of the sort of things that I've been helping many of my clients remotely, and also hopefully this will work with yourself as well, as the first part of what I'm going to share with you. Then the second part, I'm going to give you some exercises as well. Nothing too strenuous, guys, so don't worry. Don't worry. Have any of you had acupuncture before?
Yeah.
Yeah, just raise your hands. Anyone had acupuncture before? Well, I don't do acupuncture, but I do something called Tuinar. And Tuinar is some sort of Chinese, it's a Chinese technique. And with this Chinese technique, there are various points around the body, acupressure points. There's over 360 points around the body. And if you were to press or palpate certain areas, this can improve the energy flow. And what I'm going to do at the end of this talk, I'm going to show you 3 areas in the body which you can do for yourself, and also members of the family or your loved ones, by pressing and palpating those areas over a period of time. This will improve their anxiety and reduce their stress. Who would like that?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Yeah. So, but first and foremost, just going to start with just giving a couple of, share with you a few tips that I've been sharing with some of my clients. And again, some of you speakers have talked about this already in regards to not listening to the news. And that's just not BBC News. It's all this on the news channels. Yes, we do need to understand and know what we can avoid, what restrictions have been imposed on us. We also need to know, if there's anything significantly changed as well. But what you find is, though, that if we start fixating on what's going on in Italy and what's going on in Spain, and seeing how the authorities over there are struggling to cope with a lot of what's going on, too much of that over a period of time can be quite debilitating. Because one of the things about the subconscious mind is that we are very resilient and we are very resourceful. Our ancestors gave us that ability many years ago. And a lot of people, a lot of us aren't actually aware of it. And the reasons why we've got that resilience is because a lot of our, ancestors, they might walk 5-10 miles a day, and working 5-10 miles a day to hunt and look for food. Many of them are actually, they know they're not going to come back. And so we've got this resilience, we've got this inbuilt resilience internally inside of ourselves. But by looking at a lot of the times, a lot of the negative things, we're taken away from that sort of resilience. And one of the things that society has changed, and the way that things have changed at the moment in time, is the things that we used to do in regards to going to the gym, going for a beer after work, meeting, every last Thursday in the month at RSViP, and doing lots of other things. All those things have become ways in which we deal with day-to-day life, and it's part of that catharsis. I play football, all the different things that we used to do to get away from work. And so now all that is gone.
Yeah.
It's all gone. And so now we're having to work hard, work smart, and create visions, create this new norm that we're moving towards, and start to think about things that we need to do in order to make sure that we don't become negative or depressed or too anxious, so to speak. So that's the first thing I wanted to sort of share with yourselves. Secondly, is also to find something of interest, things that you like doing. Many of the clients, I've gone through this with them over this last week. Sometimes how many times we've been on holiday and we haven't finished the book, and we've put it away because we've gone back into work and we haven't got time to pick that up again. Now we've got that time. And so it's looking around that. Sometimes people have gone out and bought items on QVC, and it's in the garage or it's in one of the spare rooms or so. Now we've got the time to bring those out and use that, and also to embrace the sort of things that we haven't done in the past. And sometimes, and also certain interests outside of work, or sometimes interests that we think of that we want to do. Again, one of my clients who talked yesterday, she's going to start to learn to speak Italian. And it's something that's been on the back burner for years. So there's so many things that normally, as you see this word coming up quite a lot, that we would actually do. But now we've got that time, and it's the kind of like utilising time. And for example, I remember I was coming in from, I was not coming in from work, actually, I was working from home. And I was thinking to myself, right, then I was doing all my calls, working with my clients, doing all the things I normally do throughout the day. And I was managing to get a lot of the things done. And then I had time to cook rather than put something in the microwave. I remember sat there and I did this Facebook Live with lots of, with some friends and family, and said, you realise that a lot of the things that I was able to do in that day, I would actually manage to do it. whereas ordinarily they'd been coming from home and he'd be on the computer writing emails and doing quotes or doing various other things and creating a to-do list for the following day, which then goes another day. But in actual fact, I'm now finding that extra time that I'm able to get through a lot of the things that I wouldn't have already done, you know, which is pretty, you know, and you know, feeling really good about it. And so that was quite nice. So the third tip I was going to share with yourself as well is all the importance, and probably this is the biggest one, I would say, in my opinion, is the importance of keeping to your routine. The importance of keeping to a routine, and if you haven't got one, is to create one. Because we're going through a huge shift. And normally, you know, I don't know about yourself, but normally I'd get up in the morning, have breakfast, and I'd already have sort of like my routine, whereas I'd already been doing these various affirmations in the morning about mindfulness and what am I going to be grateful for and having intention for the day. But even that, I'm having to double up on my efforts on that to make sure that I keep to that. And then it's a routine of going into work, having a space in the house which I'll use for work, and then having various breaks throughout the day, and having that sort of routine and you know, throughout the day and every day. And I think it's important to have this routine because it's so easy now. And I think, again, some of you that, you know, some speakers might have talked about this. For this week as such, we're in transition. And it's going to take, in my opinion, a few weeks for us all to sort of like settle down. We've got different groups, you know, we've got the, you know, your partner, your loved ones, your various people sharing the same space for a long period of time. Yes, it's a house, it's a home, but most of the time, you know, you get up in the morning, there's that rush to have breakfast, to get out of the, you know, to get out of the house, to get the tube, to get the bus, dropping people off to get to school. All that's changed. And now there's been a huge shift in terms of it's a different structure, it's a different routine. And it takes some planning, it takes effort. And many people just roll out, you know, get up in the morning, not set the alarm, and then just crack on. But it's key, critical to, you know, as a unit, as a family, to have that routine in terms of who's going to be homeschooling, who's going to be working, what room we're going to be working in, what time should we have lunch, should we sit down and have lunch together? You know, a lot of times families will be struggling to get together late in the evening. So it's a great opportunity, you know, in the day. It's okay, then you do some homeschooling with, you know, with the children. I'll work in this room, you work in that room. Let's have some boundaries where, you know, you can do the coffee run or the tea run, you know, or the juice. And then we can come together at lunchtime and get through the day. It doesn't necessarily have to be as prescriptive as that. But the key thing is that we still need to set those goals. And we've talked about, you know, how we're going to, you know, in terms of coming out of that and what the new norm's going to look like. But overall, it's a case if we can set things up now, we can make those changes now, get ourselves into a routine. This is going to put us in good stead for now and also for tomorrow, because many people won't be thinking of that. They're just looking at, okay, then I'm working from home. Let's just crack on with it. But when they go back to work, the work will have changed. People have changed. Views and attitudes have changed because we talked about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. I think the first bit might be Matt been talking about. And many people go to work because of that, the comfort of being around other people. But when they do go back to work, we eventually get back to the work, those people, the conversations that they used to have, you know, they will have changed because we'll have missed it. You know, it would have been a month, 2 months, 3 months, it'll have gone. Those sort of synergies, the conversations, the office politics, all that. It might be a good thing for lots of organisations, and also some companies, and we've heard it already. You know, some people, you know, companies are laying people off. They might go back to work, Or at the end, so actually, some bosses might say, do you know what? We're going to start, we saved all this money for the rent and computer systems and everything. Let's just have everybody working from home. And then what's going to happen then? So while working with my clients and business leaders and people I'm working around is in terms of, rather than just wait to see what happens in the future, start to plan now. Because start to plan now. And even with some of my business clients and clients, private clients as well, who at the start of the year, we created sort of like vision boards and created, six, plans. And I know that one of the speakers talked about planning by a week, planning by a month, all the rest of it. The same to my clients, exactly the same thing. Look at your plans that we started out at the start of the year and start to rewrite them based on the new norm in terms of how we can serve our clients better, how we can help them with their sort of like well-being, and rather than coming out of it being a shock, thinking, oh shit, what shall I do now? We've programmed our mind, because our mind needs to know what it's going to do in the future. At the moment in time, it's just thinking of things of what we used to do and what's happened in the past. It's now all about taking stock of the situation, taking a deep breath, starting to put certain plans into place, and moving forward from there. Okay. The final thing I want to share with you is just a few little exercises that we can actually do. Can you all see my hand?
Yeah.
Okay? Cool. Okay, just got my left hand in front of me. You all can just put your left hand up and just take put your right hand in the air. And what I want you to do, just first of all, is just to take your middle finger and place it into the centre of your palm. Just your left hand. That's it. Yeah, your left. Yes, your left and right. Yeah, this is the left. Yeah. Okay. And just there where your finger is there, I just then want you to take your thumb and just place it immediately there as well. Okay. I just want you just to press down on this area here and just palpate it, and just rotate your thumb until you feel a little bit of resistance in there. You might feel a little bit of pain. And in this area here, this and not all, you might feel a little bit of tingling as well. You might feel a little tingling as well. And what we're doing here, we're actually calming the mind. This is brilliant for anxiety, calming the mind, people who are stressed or feel a little anxious. And if we do this, and we can do this for other people as well, we can also do this for ourselves. And if you do this for about, and every time you rotate, that's called a palpation. It doesn't really matter if you do it, from left to right or right to left, but doing this over a period of time is very calming and very relaxing. Okay. The second one I'm going to show you, again, we can stay with it, and we do what we're doing here. I'm just going to work on the left hand. We also can do this with the right as well in the same sort of areas. But just to recap, it's where your middle finger is. Just bring it back into the center of your palm, and where it touches the palm, where it touches your hand there, that's the area in which we actually palpate. Okay, cool. Okay, and this affects the inner the mind. The second one that I'm going to show you, again, just hold your left hand in the air, and I just want you to use. It can be. It doesn't matter which finger you use or your thumb. Just in the center of your wrist, in the crease. Just the center of your wrist there. Again, there's a powerful point just in there. And again, exactly the same. Just rotate your thumb or your finger in that area. And again, you might just to do it with a little bit of light pressure. It doesn't matter whether you do it rotate from the left or right to the left. And again, normally I would work and do this with somebody sometimes for about a minute or two, sometimes up to about 200 or 300 palpations. Again, this is actually brilliant to calm the mind, and calm the mind. Also, just slightly from on the same crease, sorry, in the same crease of the wrist. If you just follow your finger, your thumb down to the side of your wrist, just here. There's a little dentation just here, and so on the wrist, at the edge of your arm, just into here. Again, we can just rotate the thumb or the finger into this area. And again, we can do this for 100, 200 rotations, either to the left or right. Again, this is a very powerful point. Again, to also just to calm the nerves, calm the minds, and relax the mind. So anybody you know that might be suffering with anxiety, worry, or anger, this is really good for those sort of areas. And for those people who are into chi and energy and everything, this point here, which we're actually palpating, is known as H7, which is for the heart. And these points here is P8, which is the pericardium. And this point here is P7, pericardium. And these points run all the way up the arm, all the way into the heart area here. That's why it's good for calming the heart, relaxing the mind, and just expressing everything.
Fantastic. Okay. Thank you, Mike. That was really interesting. Thank you so much.